Hello my friends, welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. These different storage containers here. Hi. Well, right here, we're walking by what used to be a Goodwill. And the Goodwill I used to come here for was they had a ton of vinyl records for $1 a piece. Bought a whole bunch of those here. Probably hundreds. Some really good. Some average, but I only bought the ones in good enough shape to buy and be listenable. And as I've stated, most of my collection is VG plus, which is very good plus, or near mint minus, near mint, or mint. And the way I grade my records is there's a lot of people online that would grade a record that plays like new, makes no noise at all, as mint. But to me, mint means it hasn't been opened. So today we're going to walk a route we've never walked before, just for having something different on a Saturday. If I don't get creamed. So this should be interesting today, I hope. I'm going to do kind of a circle kind of thing. And to be honest with you, all the years that I've lived here, I don't think I have ever been on this street, South Avenue, other than to go shopping or go to a McDonald's or something, which isn't up this way on this street. So I'm gonna walk around and check things out. And we're also going to be walking by Androscoggin River, so we'll get some nice river views today along the banks. As I'll get my daily workout. Hope everybody's having a beautiful weekend so far. It's amazing how much things change in a short amount of time after not being much of a change for a long time. And that's what Lewiston here seems like anyway. Seems like for the longest time, from when I was a kid until a lot of my adulthood, a lot of things really didn't change much. And now there's new apartment complexes, new businesses, old businesses are packed up and left. New ones come in. It's just things are a lot different. I'm not sure if it's for the better or for the worse. But some people don't like change. I might be one of those people. So you are going to see some different views today. Some of these cool neighborhoods. Now this is what you call a frost heave sidewalk. It's all uneven from years of winter time. swelling and contracting, so it's all uneven. I mention that because I know some people down south who watch this, and also crazy mofo out in Los Angeles. Who seem to be a bit befuddled on how we clean the sidewalks here. Well, it's not easy, but they do it. So what I have noticed is you get a lot of diversity now in the big cities, and in the rural countryside you still don't see it. So just to give you an example, Maine currently, according to the last census, was 92 to 94% what's called white. And I don't think it's 92% in Lewiston. I think Lewiston is about 80% white. So it's more in some pockets, less than others. And Lewiston is the second largest city in the state. Still, only about 37,000. So by a lot of other state standard, I think we're closer to something like Montana and New Hampshire population, like not very much. But what's interesting about Maine is if you take the physical real estate, you can fit all of the New England states, with the exception of New York, into Maine. So you can fit Maryland, Delaware, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and still have room left over in the state of Maine, considering all the people that live in those states. Gives you an idea how sparsely populated Maine is, because Maine doesn't even have the population of Boston. So the entire state of Maine. So that should tell you a few things. And you know, like that pole right there, I've never seen that. I've never walked in this area. I have never been on this street in my whole life since living here. So why not, right? I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going, and I know where I've been. But it'll be a nice walk today. Now, I've been seeing a lot of things like, you see that pile of stuff right there? That is somebody that was living there behind that bush, or maybe even in that bush. So that's a homeless thing there. And that parking lot we started this walk from, I looked over the side of the hill, and there's a couple of tents down in the woods too, with some homeless people living down there. And a lot of times you can see when you run into homeless people, because all around where they're staying you'll see trash. And well, you know, you and I put trash in the trash can and stuff and put it on the side of the road. Well, they don't have that. So it usually tells you somebody's living there. And also they go through the trash. They'll take the whole trash bag and they'll bring it to where they're staying and dig through it there. Trying to find anything they can use, I guess. So it's a nice day. We get 0.5 miles. I'm gonna half mile in the books. We're gonna do between 5 and 6. Did closer to 7 yesterday. So 5 or 6 would be good for today, I think. I'll cut across here. Rental place here. We need to rent some equipment. They get generators, a water thing. So I hope you enjoy the walk today on this beautiful Saturday. In Maine. Sometimes I get asked because I forget to put it in the description. So where is this at? Well, we're in Maine, Lewiston, Maine. I'm going to cut across here. Hopefully I won't die. Get some trucks over here. And we're gonna head on down this road. So I'll do a quick selfie thing to say hello. Hello everybody, welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. And this is what I wear to walk in. Nothing fancy. And I'm gonna walk a little bit more. I'll turn the camera back around because we're gonna have a river to look at, which looks nice right now, to be honest with you. I just wanted to say hello and say that I noticed I have probably around 270 or 280 walks uploaded. I think there used to be more than that, but what happens is I add one, I think YouTube takes one off because I'm walking just about every day, so there should be closer to well over 400 walks. And it is kind of interesting to watch some of the older walks if there's something important being discussed. And I realize when I talk about this stuff, it gets redundant. That'll happen talking every day, you know. How do you keep people entertained? Well, one of the good things about walking is sometimes you find free tools. So this is a flathead screwdriver that's in good shape. So I'm going to stick that in a pocket. I'll put that in my backpack shortly. So well, I got something to turn the camera around for. New construction project. Looks to me like some kind of giant. Well, you be the judge. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi. Thank you for joining me today. And let's take a look at what I'm looking at. Look at that. That's a big giant cylindrical thing. I don't know if that's going to be some kind of storage tank inside it. Sometimes they'll stick a sign on here telling you what it's going to be. So let's see if this sign over here says anything. I know I'm walking by the sewage treatment plant down by the water, so it has something to do with that. And we get the Mountain Hope Cemetery not far away. Well, it's Geiger Brothers. Well, let's get a shot inside here. So they're building something here having to do with treating sewerage. That's a fact. One, because my nose is telling me that sewerage is nearby. And there is a water treatment facility here. Got a big giant mound of something here. Presumably, they must have dug all this up and piled it up there, I think. Water Pollution Control Authority. We got a doggy daycare across the street. I hear a lot of dogs barking in there. So we get this little parking place down here, public boat access. Let's go take a look at that. All right, let's go take a look, see what we have down here. Looks like we got benches. We have picnic tables, pretty rugged concrete ones, covered in bird poop, it looks like, or something. And we have the river down here. And this is what I was telling you guys, we got all these boat launches around here. You can launch kayaks or boats or whatever you wish to launch. The river is a little bit low right now, it looks like. How you doing?
Good.
So the water does look a little low right now compared to usual. But we'll get our 6 miles in today. Pretty nice day today. So you guys got to see that. We'll head on over and swing up to maybe well, we'll just walk down this way a while, see where we go. So that was some of the diversity I was just talking about. which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. If somebody's gonna come here and not be a criminal and do bad things. So we will get another shot at the river up ahead here. We'll be walking right alongside it actually for a little while. Notice a lot of flying grasshoppers today. Robins hopping along in the grass there. You saw a syringe cap. The Lewiston Police Department just initiated a new thing to go, you know, with the crime, fight crime, and people have been complaining about dirty needles everywhere. So I'm not quite sure what the city has done, but they changed their policy on that. Like somehow that's going to make it better. I haven't looked into it, but I'm willing to bet they're doing something stupid like offering to buy them back from people with tax dollars. Would not surprise me. I'll get more info on that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the biggest news we've had in years that nobody's talking about because of effing Epstein. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, has released documents proving that Brennan, Clapper, that woman there, Rice, not Condi Rice, she's a Republican, but Susan Rice, in Obama's White House, and presumably Joe Biden knew about it as well, have released documents clearly implicating the Obama administration sabotaging Trump's presidency with the Russia collusion hoax. She has documents saying that they thought were hidden, but she came up with them somehow, and it directly implicates these people in usurping democracy, trying to interfere with an election from a duly elected president, which they had some success doing, I may add. Because Trump's first presidency, he was playing defense for 2 years. So they definitely slowed down Trump's agenda doing that. But obviously, we've seen the last joke is on them. And so a lot of people are calling for somebody to be charged with sedition, treason, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they can't get away with this. Cannot get away with it. And I don't want to hear any statute of limitations bullshit either. These people need to pay for doing that. They leaked that story to the press. Brennan did, the CIA. Leaked that story to the press as an anonymous source stating Trump was working with Putin and Russia. And that was a directive that came from Barack Obama as president. Now we have the evidence. What are they going to do with it? If you're not familiar with that, you need to go read about it. And don't read about it at NBC or CBS or ABC. Read about it at someplace else. Daily Caller. There's a whole bunch of other sources. Gateway Pundit. I keep forgetting the name of that. I get their emails. They're pretty well known. I can't think of it right now, but I read so much stuff. It's, you know, and you also have to read, once in a while somebody will have an article that talks something about it. You know, it might be The Hill or something like that. And also a lot of the online influencers will talk about it, the ones that are worth listening to. So the ones that aren't just spewing propaganda and actually talking about things that really happened. So it's pretty interesting. See, we got all these little cubby holes here along the side of the road that go down to the river. There's a pathway here. I can see some clothes hanging on a branch. So this is all used by homeless people, because look, you got all this shrubs and everything here. It obscures the view, so you can't even see what's in there. And you know, I'm obviously not going to go walking in there to go look, because I don't know who's in there or why they're in there. Things didn't used to be like that, that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So anyway, we got all that stuff going on with pretty terrible things. I mean, something has to be done about it. And then we have lawsuit filed against the Wall Street Journal by Mr. Trump, which is good. And they're obviously lying. If you read the whole quote that the note supposedly says, and they never show the note, by the way, it's ridiculous. Nobody talks like that. And they reference everything that seems intriguing about Epstein lists and things. So this is completely made up, false, ridiculous. It's quite an embarrassment that a media outlet would even entertain putting that out, for one thing. So anyway, since that Wall Street Journal article has come out, people that were unsure about Trump now are switching back to Trump. It's like the harder they try, you know, they would have been better off just letting MAGA be gossiping people at the water cooler at work. You know, they would have been better off just letting us do that. But they see it as an opportunity to finally get Trump. So they have to come in with this fake stuff showing the entire MAGA base that, well, you know, if these guys are jumping on a bandwagon like that with such ridiculous evidence, then Trump's innocent. And I'll tell you right now, Trump's innocent. There's nothing bad with him with the Epstein list. If there was, before he was even president, he would have been sued by some victim because he was wealthy and a celebrity on TV. And there's been no settlements out of court. There's been no suits filed. Nothing. everybody that's been spoken to that knew about Epstein, some of them were specifically asked about Trump, and now don't know anything about that. There is one victim that says there is, and she tried to sue and have a case brought, and it was tossed out by not having any merit. And you still have some people that hate Trump so much they keep bringing her up, and CNN had her on the other day. So these people are deranged, mentally ill. I mean, is Trump a saint when he was younger? No, most guys weren't, you know, let's be honest. But certainly was not associated with Epstein. Even his former attorney, his fixer, Michael Cohen, said that he's never had any dealings since he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago years ago. So, very interesting stuff. And judging by polling, most of the public really doesn't give a flying fiddly, to be honest. It hasn't affected Trump's numbers. His numbers have actually gone up, and people are not freaking out. I thought we were going to get more of a river view today, but we're not. When there's no leaves on the trees, you can see the entire river, like, really, really well. Today, not so much. There's a river back there, but that's what happens when we walk. Now we know. Make sure there's nothing gumming up the works here on the front of this lens. So we're going to walk down this way, and I'm going to hang a right onto Locust. Hopefully we don't see any locusts. And then we're going to hang another right, and we're going to go up Lisbon Street. Lisbon. Lisbon. And what used to be called the Bleachery Hill, because there used to be a bleachery on the hill. Pretty clever, huh? Not anymore. I don't think anybody calls it that anymore. Over 40 years old, they do. Under, maybe not so much. We're going to be passing a warehouse I worked at for a while in the 90s. Can't say I enjoyed it very much. There was no heating, for one thing. Entire building, except for the office that the boss sat in, had no heat. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Sure, sign me up for that. Oh, $6 an hour, huh? Well, I don't think I want to do this. I was in the 90s. So there's a lot of kind of interesting things here. You can see an old, what's left of a train trestle over there. I didn't even know that was there. And that's probably still attached. Kind of looks like it stops on the end there, but there's a tree in front of it. And I know some tracks do go down through that, where that old mill used to be in the back there. which is part of the warehouse I used to work in. That has no heat. Which, by the way, is one of the buildings that they used to make Civil War army blankets for soldiers, so they can keep warm in their tents while they were fighting for our independence. God bless those guys. And so we're going to walk down this way. So those are part of the same train tracks, I think, that we used to walk when we were kids. I just don't remember a trestle there. I think we used to walk it past that. And we used to go round up loose chickens out in the woods. It's not something we did often, but once in a while we'd go to where Hillcrest was, which was a chicken processing place. And a lot of times you'd have chickens just running around out in the woods that got away. Now, let me tell you, I'm here to tell you chickens are stupid. Stupid animals. How do I know this? Well, when you would come up on a chicken, he would take his little head because he was afraid, and he would stick it in between two trailer truck tires on the trailer. And because his head was in the hole, he figured nobody could see him because he couldn't see anybody else. And his whole rear end was sticking out. So they're not very smart. A lot of people own them as pets and they say, oh yeah, they're smart. Well, I've never seen that side of them. Natural gas facility. Let's hope this doesn't blow up while we're going by. I can hear it hissing. I hope it's hissing normally. Now they have a bike walkway now along the river, which I'm assuming you can get to down there. I'll take another look at that on Google Maps. And you can actually see more detail on Apple Maps. So, and we got this girl walking down here. She's walking like she's a loosey-goosey. Oh, there she goes. She just dropped right down there. You see that? She lifted her dress and took her panties off. I think she's going to the bathroom. Isn't that lovely? I will be cautious. It's been a while. Oh, there we go. Yep, she was just naked halfway down. Can you believe it? Nope. That's not my cart.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Great.
Well, she is absolutely wasted. Yep, she sat right here over the sewer grate. She pulled her red thong panties down and she went to pee. That was not on my bingo card of things I might see today. But hey, you're walking with J.Beau. And she was obviously very high on something. She had a hard time speaking. There you have it, my friends. That's the problem we're having in Lewiston, Maine these days. So this is the building I used to work in. They are Republicans, I'll tell you that. They are Republicans, we'll give them that. And I did not enjoy working there. Well, that woman wanted to know if that was my cart for some reason. I thought she was asking so she could take it. No, she just wanted to know if it was my cart. So this is the canal, which very rarely do you see this drained. And this is the one I was telling you about when we were kids. We used to come down here and we would take a shopping cart, fill it up, we'd fill the shopping cart up. Oh, that guy just did a wheelie and we missed it. I was hoping to do another one. He just did one. He did one out of view, damn it. But anyway, we used to fill up shopping carts with empty bottles when they would drain the canal like this. So we could have money to go play video games, because you can see them from here, all those bottles. People walk across and they throw their bottle they're drinking into the water. It sinks and they collect. So there's a whole bunch of cans there, bottles. Back when it was 25 cents to play a video game. We're going to cross the street here in a minute, and that is one of those old mill buildings that basically built Lewiston with money. Affectionately call the city of Lewiston the city of brick. So we're going to get across here because there's a good shot I want to get for a photograph. It's one of those things that's been bugging me for a year or two. I was like, I got to get down here at some point and get a photo. And it's not going to make any sense to you guys, but to me, I lived just around the corner here when I was 10 years old. And I spent a lot of time down here riding a bike, playing. Used to come down to this parking lot here where there was a giant snowbank with our giant Tonka dump trucks. You've seen those Tonka steel dump trucks and bucket loaders. And that building right there, well, we might as well just walk around it while we're here. This building over here is now the public. This used to be the unemployment office in the 70s, right here, or as some people called it, the unenjoyment office. This used to be a movie theater. It's called the Ritz Theater. This is the same movie theater Stephen King used to go to when he lived here and he was teaching. He lived in Lewiston, Maine here for a while. That's why when you read some of his books, he'll mention things like the Rollerdrome in Auburn, where a character in one of his books would have sex with a girl in a car in the parking lot behind the Rollerdrome. So this is all stuff I grew up with down here. That gas station right there, used to go down there. Doesn't look like they have gas anymore. They might. Yeah, they might have a pump. But there used to be an air pump on the outside of this building. And I remember one time I overinflated my bike tire because they had that really hot rodded for trailer trucks. And it actually popped my inner tube right out from the rim between the tire. Which is not fun when you don't have much money to get a new inner tube. But I'm gonna go across the street. Thanks. Person came around the corner way too fast. But that right there is the public theater. That used to be the Ritz Theater. And I used to come down here every Saturday for almost 2 years, and I would watch Star Wars. They used to have a $1 matinee on Saturdays. And sometimes I'd come once or twice, same day, see it back to back. And I did that for almost 2 years. I was a little bit obsessed with that movie when I was 10. So that's what it looks like now. And we used to live right up on this hill over here, which is now, this whole neighborhood now is all migrants, minorities, whatever you want to call them. And at the time, that's what we were, Franco-American. This was the poor part of town, and it still is. And where you see those little concrete pylons there, we had, that's where we had the breakfast program. So when I was a kid, we would go there and have free breakfast. A lot of memories on this street. I don't know where the hell all this traffic's coming from. But anyway, that is the Ritz Theater. We used to have so much fun living down here. It was a neighborhood that you could leave your doors unlocked, even though everybody was poor. My mom used to sell Avon. She had customers all over the place. And people used to buy Avon. So things have changed a lot here in wow, almost 50 years ago. So absolutely amazing. But that little park is still has that little steps there, and that used to be called the tot lot, where tots would come and play. Tots like us. I have a lot of good memories down here. That's why I wanted to come down here today. So I wanted to get a shot of this brick building here that says Lewiston at the end of this road. Just because because we're actually going to walk through Arrowheart. I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be called Arrowheart Industries. There used to be these giant cardboard buckets, not buckets, but big barrels filled with electronic switches. We used to play baseball down there. So this is what I was talking about. Lewiston Bleachery. See that? Bleachery and Dye Works. So that's why they called it Bleachery Hill, because the bleachery was here, which is no longer a bleachery and dye works. But that has been here since way before I was a kid, painted on the walls there. And I was down here 50 years ago. So I just wanted to get a shot of it, that's all. I'm happy. So now we're going to walk down this way. Make sure the camera's adjusted right. Get a good shot. So we're going to walk through down here, and I'm already getting a lot of memories. I remember one night my older brother came home. He was still living at home. I think he was 17 or 18. He had just come back from seeing The Shining. And I remember it was one of our first snows, and we were outside on Maple Street sliding. You'd run and slide down the hill on your feet on the sidewalk. I remember doing that. I used to come out here and play in the snow out back here. We're going to be crossing the street and cutting across. Let's see what they're doing down here, if anything. All through these hills here, out here, we used to play army with toy army guns. So this was my childhood stomping ground right here. So the face is gone now off that robot thing. It's all pecked with holes. People must have been throwing rocks at it. That's what we used to do. That's been here for a long time. And you can't see it now because that big tree is there, but that tree didn't used to be there. And used to be able to see all the way up, but the apartment building we lived in is it's all gone now. So got housing projects built on it. So we're gonna head on down here. I've ridden my bike through here when I was a kid so many times. We would just do laps all through here over and over again. There was all kinds of stuff you could jump off, and a dirt road that went behind. There was some train tracks up there somewhere. So we're going to come down here. And the reason why I remember this is we used to live there, okay? I'd come walking down across the street, and I'd come walking through here, and would walk down here, and had to walk down here to go up to the mall. So if I wanted to buy Hot Wheels, Star Wars figures, things like that, I would walk down this way. And that's why this is nice to walk through here. I have been everywhere down here, all through there. It's like it really hasn't changed. It looks a little more old and decrepit. And there's graffiti and stuff, and the paint's faded, but all the buildings are the same, pretty much. There used to be a chain link fence here. Not a three-way. Private property. Well, we're already here. We're going to walk through here. I think they're talking about vehicles. So you can see this very old building here. Maine Thread Company. Now my friend Rodney used to come play down here, and I'd come down here with him. And Rodney didn't make it past 14 years old. Rodney took his own life because he got a girl pregnant. Didn't know how to deal with that. Had strict parents, which, you know, wasn't the parents' fault. They weren't normal. He just knew he did something bad, didn't know how to get out of it. And he put a shotgun in his mouth. So, a couple of weeks before he did that, I had gone to see a movie that had just come out called Moonraker with James Bond. So he was in the movie theater. That was the last time I saw him. There used to be a giant industrial chimney here that went way, 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 way up in the sky. They tore that down a long time ago, but we played so much sandlot baseball here. All of this stuff here wasn't here. It was just a sandlot like this. And we played a lot of baseball down here. So I'm glad I came down here. I'm gonna have a long walk back. Well, that's what I'm here for. So I have a lot of memories down here playing with friends in the neighborhood, as well as just being by myself, exploring the hills out here, playing Army, all of the Star Wars stuff I was telling you about, like when I was buying the Star Wars Coke glasses, 1978. I was 10 years old, and Burger King up the street here used to have those. And I got 2 out of the 4, I remember that. I had the Darth Vader one, and I had the C-3PO one, of Luke Skywalker. I have the whole set now because I'm kind of nostalgic. And I went back and I bought a set. Saw a really good price on eBay. Back when everything wasn't overpriced on eBay like it is now. And so used to ride my bike down here a lot, down this hill. If I could cross the street, I'll do that up here, but I want to walk up the side I used to walk up all the time. You know how you always have like a preferred side of the street to walk on? So used to walk up here. Another marijuana dispensary across the street. See that? And we got another one right next to it. Pesticide free always. Used to kill me years ago, be in a room full of people at a heavy metal show. People would be smoking pot. Some of them would say things, you know, like, you know, like they're being a connoisseur, right? Oh, this one tastes kind of metallic. Has a metallic taste to it. Yeah, well, you know, maybe you're smoking uranium. You know, maybe they grew it over a nuclear waste dump, for all you know, because there's no regulation on it back then. So we used to have Zayre's department store up this way. Diorcy's record shop. Record Town used to be up this way. Pizza Hut, Burger King, and the Burger King is still there. And all of this stuff used to be here, this little wall. I mean, you see a little wall like that and you're like, who cares, right? But I sat on this wall when I was 10 years old. Now this hill right here used to be mowed all the time, and now it doesn't look like anybody mows it anymore, obviously, and you'll see why when we come around the corner. How'd you like to mow this hill? I mean, that's almost straight down from the top. I saw a guy mowing that once, and he would have a rope attached to a lawnmower. Let gravity pull it down and he'd pull it back up. Well, the only way you can do it, I guess. Unless you get a specialized thing with an arm that stretches out to do it. I've seen the city use those. I can smell Burger King. So up ahead here we have Sullivan Tire, and Sullivan Tire actually ruined a couple of my center caps on my Mustang, and the center caps were exclusive to that year only. And to find replacements brand new, they had new old surplus on eBay. They were about 60 bucks a piece. So I bought 4 new ones because they pounded them back on with a mallet. Aluminum caps, thin aluminum caps, and they caved in 2 of them. So it's like they realized, oh crap, and didn't say anything about it. And I was too busy at the time come down here and argue with them about it. So right now, well, I wanted to walk. I might just do that, just because I used to walk up here this way a lot to go to Sears. I would cut across this parking lot and walk up behind over here where those trailer trucks are. It used to be a Sears, which are now closed, but we got a Burger King on the corner. That's where I used to go to Burger King in the 70s. And we're gonna come up this way. Look at that big bag of empties. Somebody's reaping a fortune over here. All right, we'll come up through this way. Glad it's not tick season. So we'll walk up through here. There we go. Ooh, that smells nasty. And somebody's got a big giant bag of empties. So there's probably $3, maybe $4 in that bag if you're lucky. 5 cents a piece. 20 of those makes $1. Yeah, $5. Anyway, this has not changed at all since I was a kid. This still looks the same. Same dock, everything. Isn't that crazy? After everything else that's changed around here, that's still the same. So like I said, this used to be Sears. Used to be able to enter through the rear entrance, which obviously you can't anymore. And the Sears Automotive place here. I just wanted to walk through this way because I used to when I was a kid. It's one of those things. I don't expect anybody watching to understand what the hell I'm doing. So this mall used to be up here when I was a kid. It was built in the 70s. My dad helped build that. Helped build the one across the street too. Used to have Bradley's over there, service merchandise. There was a movie theater in there. I saw Smokey and the Bandit there. Land That Time Forgot I saw there. Some other movies as well. So you've been with me on walks through this parking lot last year. That's the record shop we went to. So I just wanted to come down this way, just because. So we're going to take a right on this little street. I've just gotten over 3 miles. We got a police car at CVS Pharmacy. No doubt somebody stole something. That's usually why they're there, unless they're getting a prescription filled, which may be the case also. So I used to come up through here. We'd go to the mall where Zayre's used to be down there, around the corner. We had Zayre's department store, then we'd walk over here with my mom or something, and we would go to Burger King. So we're gonna walk through here. Now the speakers that I'm still listening to this day, I purchased at a Service Merchandise in this mall across the street. I bought them with a tax return, and I also bought my first CD player. It was around 1988. The speakers were made in 88, according to the date on them. Handmade in California in a factory that no longer exists. That's the Burger King that's been remodeled only recently. Until recently, it looked like the one when I was a kid. Now it's all different. There used to be a giant bay window you could sit and eat in and look at traffic going by, and they took that away, so I don't even want to go there anymore. They opted to have the drive-through because they do more business with it, which makes sense. People usually don't go to Burger King anymore to eat. So we got a Popeye's chicken here with a lot of people in the drive-thru, so that must be pretty good if they get a line like that. Think about it. They got a Popeye's chicken with a damn line. Now I gotta focus on crossing the street here so I don't get killed. A lot of people here don't even bother looking. Got a red light. And you don't see me doing it, but I'm looking behind me. Thanks. I survived. And we're going to walk up this way. I haven't even walked 3.5 miles yet. I did walk almost 7 yesterday, so technically I don't have to do a full walk today, and it's starting to look like I'm not going to. Lisbon Street News is still here. Greeting cards, candy, lottery tickets, tobacco, magazines, newspapers. That sign's all old and sun-faded, just like us. So today's walk is not going to be as long as usual, but we've actually seen more stuff today, including a woman pulling down her red thong panties and peeing right in a sewer grate off a curb, stoned out of her gourd. I'd like to say unbelievable, but these days it's pretty believable. So we're almost at a full circle from where we started walking. So I may walk up ahead a little more. You know, I just feel funny about not having my 5 miles, you know? Feels like I'm doing something wrong. Prospect Avenue, which by the way, this used to be called Prospect Hill. There's another weed shop. A weed shop with a storefront like that is pretty seedy, right? Grocery and gift shop, which this used to be a little store that sold hockey cards and stuff like that. Baseball cards. I used to buy a lot of hockey cards there. Which, by the way, I still have my hockey cards from the 80s. All the ones I bought, I still got them in storage in the attic. I don't know what they're worth. Probably nothing. What makes cards collectible is rarity. And I don't believe I have anything that's ultra rare, because I bought those at a time where there had been a resurgence of collector cards, and a lot of companies. I used to like the Upper Deck card company. So this is that street we walked down one night. Recently. We were walking down that while it was getting dark, and that black woman was yelling at that guy in the car. She kept screaming, "You trying to kill me? You trying to kill me? You trying to kill me?" Over and over again. I guess we'll walk up past where we started a little ways. South Avenue and Lisbon Street Variety. I didn't even know that was the official name of that place. Kind of things you notice when you walk by instead of drive by. So we saw that woman earlier, pretty stoned. That's a hard life to live, man. That's all I'm saying. I mean, who knows what she was on. McDonald's. Yvonne's Car Wash. Power wash. Tough industry to be in these days. And what I mean is those automated car washes. Because all of these cities now have EPA standards. A lot of them have to recycle the water. Not these kinds, but those fully automated ones. They have to have equipment in there to catch all that water, and by law it has to be recycled. Does in Maine anyway. If you're in another state, probably not, but and come to think of it, it might just be Cumberland County. Cumberland County also has emissions testing for cars and trucks, which they don't have here. They tried to do that here and people were like, are you out of your effing mind? And I hope nobody comes up with that idea again, because all that does is it hurts poor people. Because when your car fails emissions, it means it needs new sensors, new parts. Now this church right here is where my mom and dad got married. In the 50s, 1950s. It was a new church then. Now I forgot the name of that school in back there. It was a elementary school. I'm thinking Wallace School, something like that. I could look it up. Didn't spend too much time up this way when I was a kid at all. Never really went past the mall that we were at down there. So, as good a time as any. Cut across here. So there's not really anything to see up that way. Really isn't. So I'm going to wrap up this walk. I know lengthwise, not distance-wise, but I know it sounds funny, but time lengthwise, well, I don't know. This is about the usual pace I do. 4 miles in an hour 20. A lot of time I'll get 5 miles in an hour and 25. What I'll probably do is I'll stop recording, take a couple sips of water, and then I'll get my extra mile in off camera, because I'm going to walk over some of what I've walked over already. But I just thought this would be an interesting walk today, and I think it was. Lisbon Street Fire Station. This old house. I remember this house. It's been here a while. It's been here a while. So we'll head down this way. turn the camera around. So my friends, hope you enjoyed watching today. We're going to work our way down the hillside. So just walk down this grass hill. So my friends, I showed you a couple of things that I haven't showed you for a while. Hope you enjoyed it. And some of the stuff we looked at today, first time I've walked down here in years. A couple of places I just drive to, but I never walked around down where we walked around. I've driven by it. Like that movie theater I used to go to when I was a kid. Things like that. So my friends, click like and subscribe, share the content, say a prayer for President Trump and the country. I think a lot of things are starting to clear up now, and you know, people just have this insatiable tabloid mentality with Trump, with everything. It's not good. It was good getting him elected, but now it's like time to chill out on that stuff. Just enjoy what he's doing. We got a lot of good things passed this week. He signed the cryptocurrency law is now signed, designating an official currency as a legitimate, safe currency backed by the federal government, which is good. And there's a lot of really excellent things going on. He's piling up the wins. It's just absolutely astounding what's going on. So anyway, my friends, we'll see you on the next walk. Click like and subscribe, share the content, blah, blah, blah. And stay happy, be good to one another. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, my friends. Thanks for walking with J.Beau.